Delisa, good evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Ben, is that coffee this late in the afternoon?
No, I quit the caffeine late in the day. That's actually it's caffeine-free Diet Coke.
There you go. I said, man, I was worried about you, man. I didn't know how much longer your day had if you're still
No.
drinking coffee this late.
Hi, Ben. How's it going?
Good to see you, Stephen. I'm not a master of the manipulate the buttons on Zoom, so I apologize.
No worries. 4 years after COVID, we are still learning every day, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's pretty funny that we are still every virtual meeting I have, I think somebody still hits the talking while muted. And I think I'm probably the guilty party in one or two of those meetings every day, but here we are. So Stephen, we got about 38 in the in with us now. I'm ready to get started if you are.
Let's go ahead, Jeff.
Let's do it. Hey, welcome everybody to IABA's Spring Town Hall. I remember this meeting like it was yesterday. I think last time we held a town hall was my introductory town hall. So I'm officially a year in. And obviously last time we were here, we didn't have a director of programs. And so now obviously the other screen that you see outside of our illustrious president is our director of programs, Parker Williams, who will be walking us through one of our newer, revitalized initiatives that we have coming on board. That's actually happening now. So I am going to pause, turn it over to Stephen, share screen. This will be a little bit different than what we've done in the past because we want to make sure that we allot time for questions. And so what you will hear is each one of our leaders will kind of give an overview of what's going on in every pillar of our strategic plan. And then we will highlight something significant that the organization is doing within each one of those pillars. So again, thank you guys for joining us today. I'm going to pause here from talking, share my screen, and turn it over to Stephen, who will begin walking us, getting us grounded in what IABA's 2025 and beyond strategic plan is.
Okay, I was looking for the mute button as well. Thank you. And Jeff, I think one of the expressions that I remember you used a lot, including even in your interviews, was how do we say thank you? How do we say thank you to volunteers and everyone that makes IABA the organization that it is? So I'd like to start with 3 thank yous. So first, a big thank you to our corporate partners, sponsors, our CSC members. Thank you. A big thank you to our members. And finally, thank you. Thank you to our leaders and our volunteers, because it is the support of each and every one of these stakeholders that allow us to operate and be able to drive our strategy towards our mission and our strategic objectives. We cannot do it without you. So thank you for your continued support and commitment to the cause and to the mission. Now, we can move on to the next page. And I have always shared that the IABA is an organization that I describe as purpose-driven and impact-focused type of an organization. the impact that we have on the lives of our members, students, is profound. And it's really what has led me to give back to this organization for these many years. It's an organization that has also given to me. And for now, I'd like you to take a moment to imagine a future where the actuarial profession reflects the full composition of our society, the society that we live in, where Black actuaries are fully represented. In the US, that will be 12 to 13%, which is representation within the population, where Black actuaries are visible. Now, one might say that that's a tall order, because today we are, depending on the database that you look at, we are somewhere between 3 to 4%. But just imagine, right? And imagine a future where students from high school and colleges from across the country have or see a clear and a supported path to their respective actuarial careers, because the IABA was there or has been there to help spark their interest as well as support them along their journey. I want you to also imagine a future where our members are not only present or representative of the profession and in the industry, but also represented at all levels within the industry and their respective organizations or companies they work at, helping shape the future of our industry, mentoring the next generation, and helping drive innovation. Finally, I wanted to imagine an organization or a future where the IABA as an organization runs with excellence, right? Powered by a data-driven strategy, strengthened by our partnerships and telling our stories of impact. Now that's the future that we are building here at IABA, taking it 1 year at a time. And tonight we are going to be sharing with you all, our members and partners, our mission and the 3 strategic pillars that we have established, which is awareness and pipeline. Jeff, we could move on to the next slide. Awareness and pipeline, impact and member development, and operational excellence, which is helping us bring that mission statement, which is to increase the number of successful Black actuaries through the various programming and partnerships. So IABA over the 3 decades did a great job, I would say, our past leaders, in helping prop up and grow the pipeline. If we look at the annual meeting that we had, call it even 10 years ago, it's dramatically different from what we have today. The numbers have grown. We are seeing a lot of impact. And you will see very soon some of the evolution that we have done to our strategic plan to not only cater for the front end of the funnel, but also some of the feedback that we receive from our members is, once we've gotten our student members into the funnel, how do we groom, develop, and create the opportunities? And so we will get to all those dimensions. But for a moment, let's spend some time on awareness and pipeline. And I think historically, this is where we spent a lot of time on. And one of the things that we are looking to do on a go-forward basis is, how do we look to create even greater return on our investment and efforts on all the awareness and pipeline efforts? How can we enhance the respective outreach programs and events, both at the college level, but even as early as the high school level, to help organically grow our pipeline of Black actuarial students? How do we tap into relationships like college professors and teachers, the various actuarial organizations like the Society of Actuaries, Casualty Academy, just to highlight a few? And how do we enhance to even enriching our existing student programs? And where necessary, add on some very intentional and strategic programs that helps our students to be able to better prepare, with the ultimate goal of increasing the number of credentialed members, because that's really what our mission stands for. Once we get the people into the pipeline, we don't want to keep them in the student phase, because we do know that there are a lot of dropout that happens given some of the barriers to entry. But how do we help them along the way to become fully credentialed? I talked about data-driven strategy. We are establishing a dashboard that allows us to be able to measure and report on some key KPIs that allows us to measure our progress. And on the page are just a few of the KPIs that we will look to monitor over time to be able to show our progress. And one of the things that we are looking to do when it comes to the KPIs, the dashboards, is we are at the moment working on establishing a baseline that allows us then to be able to, in a tangible way, establish our ambitions to help us stretch to be able to move the needle. Let's move to the next pillar. So the middle pillar, this is actually the new kid on the block, impact and member development. And what we've done is also in our organizational chart, we have introduced or established a new committee that is focused or dedicated to impact and member development. What do we mean by that? I mentioned just a little while the efforts that we've done on the front end of the funnel. But now we are looking at how can we start incorporating a lot of development opportunities. And we will hear very soon some of the programming that exists and some of the new things that we are introducing, like our leadership development program. We'll hear more about it shortly. Creating opportunities for speaking engagements, thought leadership, and creating that forum for our members to be able to develop some of the skill set, create that network, and be able to grow in their respective careers to become that next generation of leaders. That helps us to be able to help shape the future as Black actuaries. Next, or the final pillar. So our final pillar, when we think of operational excellence, the way I think about it is the glue that really connects the two primary pillars. So our mission statement, you can think of it as the first two pillars, increasing the numbers, but then also of successful. And by successful, the second pillar is helping us to be able to create successful Black actuaries. And operational excellence is how we are able to enhance the first two pillars to help us deliver on our strategic objectives. Think of the data-driven strategy. Jeff will, a little while, be talking about the modernization of our technology stack, including our website, creating some of the data-driven elements like the dashboards to help us be able to measure our progress and the impact that we are having, as well as the story that we'll be able to tell of the journey that we are on. Think of our social media presence. How are we showing up externally? How do we diversify our revenue streams to ensure that on a long-term basis, we have a sustainable model to be able to have the impact that we desire in the profession? So this is, in a snapshot, a high-level overview of our strategic plan, which is under the banner of Journey to Greater Impact. So Jeff, I will pass it back to you. I believe we have time dedicated towards the end for Q&A. So I'll pass it back to you at this point. And thank you for everyone for joining us today.
Thank you, Stephen. I'm going to actually pass it straight over to Parker. Again, you guys had an opportunity to meet Parker if you were at our annual meeting. But if you were not at our annual meeting, Parker has been serving since May of last year. Parker started with the team as our new director of programs. So he oversees every one of the programs that IABA offers. And he is also overseeing one of our newest initiatives, which is going to be the revitalization of IABA Student Liaison program. So as I pause, I will give Parker the floor and allow him to talk us through what the the IABA Student Liaison is and how you can be a part of it.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff and Stephen, and good evening, everybody. This has been definitely kind of a passion project for me because it really stemmed from my first couple of weeks at IABA, which is coming up on a year here now. But first thing I did when I got hired was go to the annual meeting. And one of the first conversations I had there, I think even the night that I got there, was with Jeff and Monique talking about the student liaison position and how this is something that one, I should tackle immediately, and two, is something that is really valuable to the organization to have these student voices. So this is something that I developed alongside a bunch of other people, but this is the IABA student liaison position revitalized at this point, and they will essentially serve as the voice of student membership to the board of directors. They'll bring their unique experience as undergrad students and promote our initiatives and programs to other students across the nation and across the world so that we can really shore up our entry pipeline for these students. The eligibility of our student liaison is going to be a junior or senior. They'll serve for one term with the option to serve as a second or run for a second. And this is also going to come with a bit of a call to action for you all. But the application for this is now open. We started advertising. I've had emails coming in from students who are interested, but we really want to get a pretty big pool, especially for this very first one. So after this meeting, I'll be sending out a flyer as well as the application, and any other information that you might need, you can email me for that. Super excited to launch this program and get a student liaison in place by the annual meeting so they can go into the 2025-2026 year in place and ready to start doing this work. So, Jeff, Stephen, anything else?
No, thanks, Parker. I think it'd be
Absolutely.
intriguing as well for you to just highlight ultimately what the goal is for us as we think about the future of the student liaison position, where we want to go with this position.
Yeah, so this is really the start, I would say, of our big push into capturing these students early, that even starting from high school into their college and really being a part of their actuarial journey the entire way. The kind of future of this starts with the student liaison, getting them in place. One of their responsibilities throughout the year will be to establish a student board that gives various students from different universities a say in some of the things that IABA is doing and the representation that they have. So that'll be a big part of their role, will be establishing that student framework, that student board framework.
Perfect. Thanks, Parker.
Absolutely.
Again, we'll have time for questions. I know this might be one of those spots where somebody might want to pop in and ask questions about the student liaison position. I promise with the new format, we are allotting plenty of time at the end of the program for questions, but I do want to make sure I hit on the next topic, which is what I'm sure so many people want to talk about, is the annual meeting. Yes, we are having it. It's coming. And I promise one of the things that we're working on right now is a brand new website specifically for the annual meeting and a brand new registration page that will be accompanied by an app. And so that's what's taken a little bit longer for us to stand up this year compared to previous years. But in conversations with our annual meeting team, they have assured us that we will have the website and the registration page stood up in no less than a week and a half. So you guys will start to see all of the marketing for registration and for booking your hotel. I'd probably say before the end of the month, but we definitely want you guys to mark your calendars. We will be in DC at the Westin downtown. So definitely the annual meeting is on, but that's been the delay in getting everything set up. So in about a week and a half, you will start to see annual meeting communication coming out from our annual meeting team, as well as registration options, hotel options, and everything the like. So I'm going to pause talking again. I'm going to pass it over to Delisa, who is Delisa Beatty, a board member for IABA. She is going to walk us through the awareness and the awareness and pipeline portion of IABA strategic plan. So Delisa?
Yes, thanks, Jeff, and good evening, everyone. Looking forward to sharing some perspective just in terms of where we are within the awareness and pipeline pieces of our strategic plan. But before we even dive into updates here, I really just want to take a moment to recognize and really spotlight the faces that you see on your screen here today. These leaders, these volunteers, they are the driving force behind a lot of our awareness and pipeline efforts. So if you happen to have questions, especially deep questions on any of the information that I'm about to share, I would highly encourage you to take note of the names and committees that you see here, and feel free to connect with them and reach out to them. Okay, so with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and walk you through a few updates at a really, really high level. We're going to start here with boot camp and exam prep. Both of these committees, honestly, as I was looking through this information, both of these committees continue to show a lot of great growth, a lot of great success when it comes to really being a major touch point for our students and our early career professionals. With boot camp in particular, some of the focus has been more so on really elevating the student experience. So making sure that our students feel really supported and really prepared before they even step into the annual meeting. And as a result of that, we are actually extending the timeline for boot camp participants. And we're also hosting a resume workshop to really increase and really boost the readiness for our students. And then on the exam prep side, really a couple of things here. The first thing is it's really important to note that we've actually expanded our offerings to include Exam P, which is really huge for the organization and also really huge for our students. And then to add on to that, we've also really deepened how we support and how we really show up for students really early on in their exam journey. So adding more volunteers, increasing that peer-to-peer support, and really reinforcing the type of structure, honestly, that you need to really build momentum and build confidence to pass these exams. So really, really great progress there. We can go ahead and move on to the next slide here. And now let's just shift gears and talk through mentoring and scholarship. The big theme here is that we're continuing to see really, really strong engagement with both of these committees. On the mentoring side, we're really refining how we deliver support. And that's going to come through updating the mentoring platform, making it really easy to find information, also making it really easy to just understand what the program offers. And then we're also making some adjustments to really how the program is structured, which will then in turn give people a bit more of a focused and much more relevant experience, which is really important. So depending on where they are in their journey, being able to meet those needs at that specific time. And then on the scholarship side here, not only are we continuing to see really good growth in terms of applicants year over year, I think what's more interesting here is just the makeup of the overall applicant pool. So this year alone, 60% of the applicants are graduate students. And one of the things that I think is really, really important to touch on here is that our pipeline is still really strong. And even if we were to dig into the numbers even further, I think one of the other things that's really interesting is based on where we meet applicants throughout their collegiate career, they're still continuing to come back to IABA. So they still see us as a long-term partner throughout their college career, which is really, really, really great for the organization, and definitely a major highlight for the scholarship committee as a whole. So that's all the updates I have at a really high level. Again, like I mentioned before, I think we're going to take questions at the very end. I'm happy to answer any questions, but definitely feel free to reach out to those committee leads if you have any specific questions. And feel free to just show an act of gratitude for all of the amazing and phenomenal work that those volunteers have actually had, and all the work that they've done over this year alone. So thanks. I'll pass it on to the next person who's going to lead us in this conversation.
Thanks, Delisa. And that next person is going to be David. David is a volunteer for us as well. David leads the Chicago affiliate, and he has helped out in a number of events for us this year. David has done the Black College Expo, which is a partnership that we have with CAS. And then he also helped out and participated when we visited the NSBE conference. So I really wanted to highlight this this portion of the work because this is a direct impact of what we're doing to bring more students into the front end of the pipeline. So David, I'll pause and let you have it, brother.
Thank you, Jeff. Hi, everyone. Glad to be here. So I'll be sharing a bit about the NSBE and the Black College Expo event. So I had the opportunity to attend both in the past couple of months in March and April. So I'll start with the NSBE one. NSBE stands for National Society of Black Engineers. So I attended this conference with Gloria and Parker. NSBE has been founded in 1975. It's one of the largest student-governed organizations in the US with over 24,000 members and about 800 chapters. Its mission to increase the number of culturally responsible Black engineers who excel academically and impact the communities aligns really closely with IABA's own mission. And that's literally a quote from their website there. So with the focus of this conference being on, engineering students, or the field of engineering, we did participate as an exhibitor and were able to actually talk to students to highlight actuarial science as a similarly rigorous, rewarding, and often overlooked career path that also leverages, strong math, data, and analytical skills. So from a student engagement perspective, like we did speak with dozens of curious, high-achieving students, many of whom had never heard about the actual profession. So the interest quickly grew, once we started explaining what actuaries do in their work and how their work is really at the intersection of math, finance, and risk as overall. The second event that I attended was the Black College Expo in early April. I was joined there by 5 IABA members where they're representing both IABA and the CAS as well. So you could think of the Black College Expo almost as like a dynamic college fair, event where we're able to actually have a table similar, like as an exhibitor, similar to the other universities, but really we're able to engage people directly. So you have high school students that come with, their parents really to inquire about what kind of colleges, they could actually be attending. So throughout that event, we're able to share our personal journeys, what it takes to become an actuary. We're able to speak one-on-one with sharp, motivated high school and college students, obviously, and with their curious parents, which like some of them had never heard about the actual profession. And we're really able to highlight the support and the exposure students really need to consider these as a rewarding career path. So it was a fantastic opportunity really to raise awareness and inspire the next generation of actual talents. Both of these events really reflect IABA's commitment to strengthening the front end of the pipeline. So basically meeting students where they are and creating early access points to a profession where Black talent is still underrepresented. So a few takeaways for me here. Representation is really powerful. So as I said earlier, students really lead up when they saw actuaries who look like them. And there's a clear need for sustained outreach and membership. And finally, collaborating with organizations that are, mission aligned like NSBE would definitely help IABAs expand its reach and amplify the impact of the actual profession. All right, that's pretty much it.
Thank you, David. And I think the only thing to add here, guys, is we are looking for more of these opportunities to participate in. And with that also means we're looking for more volunteers to help us man these booths that we're participating in. I think last year in partnership, well, this year in partnership with the with CAS, we participated in 8 Black College Expos across the country, everywhere from Atlanta to LA. And so we are actively seeking more opportunities for us to participate in things like the Black College Expo or NSBE. And so if you are aware of opportunities like this, please feel free to reach out to Parker or myself so that we can get these things on our calendars and we can begin to plan on how IABA shows up at these events. Because as you've heard from David, we are able to definitely connect with a lot of students in this way. And all of that does is it gets them in the family so that they can then learn about boot camp or the scholarship program or the exam prep program. So that's what this is all. This is why we're participating in so many of these events. David, thank you so much. We're going to move on to the impact and member development section. And I'm going to turn it over to Nkosi, who is joining us from Bermuda today. Nkosi, feel free to hop on camera if the beach is in the background and share with us a little bit about what's going on with impact and member development.
Not right now. I'm hiding away in a corner so the beaches don't show. I don't want to make anybody jealous. Thanks, Jeff. Just let me know if you can hear me. Awesome. So I'll talk about the impact and member development pillar for a bit. And what falls under there is our affiliates, our annual meeting, and our newer membership and impact committees. I'd have to say a lot of work goes into each of these committees. So similarly, thanks for all the hard work that goes into this. And if you do have any questions about anything that I'm going to be talking about, please reach out to any of these individuals. Again, a lot of work goes into it, and you'd be surprised how much goes on in the background, especially for the annual meeting. But you could go on to the next slide, Jeff. All right, so first off, for our affiliates, I think a few things to call out is that we did start a new affiliate, the Charlotte affiliate, in this year. So that increases our total number of affiliates to 13 across the nation. We've seen rise in engagement over the last year as well, comparing Q1 of this year to Q1 of last year. Mainly because as everyone is recovering from COVID, we're seeing a lot of increased engagement as individuals shifted around and moved around. We're reconnecting and re-engaging on the ground level. Other things is that with this new engagement, there's upcoming orders as well as current materials that are going out, new branding material for the affiliates to show off IABA as they attend more local events. One thing to be worked on, in affiliates is that, as I mentioned before, as things change, as people move around, there is some struggle to transition leadership well. We've seen a few affiliates go through leadership changes, and what we're currently working on is just ways to streamline that transition process. On the membership and impact side, key accomplishment for that committee is the launch of the coffee conversations that has been moderated by Nana. If you haven't gotten a chance to attend one of those, I highly recommend it. Specifically, we try to engage more of our experienced members by bringing in executives who are seen as thought leaders in their respective industries. Upcoming initiatives is for the leadership development program, which I'm not going to talk about much. I'll leave that for a little later. But one thing that we'd like from the IABA community in general, one thing that's going to be worked on is ways to best get feedback from the overall community to guide what these conversations would look like, as well as further and future virtual engagement. So what topics they'd like to hear about, as well as what kind of value we can bring to them. So I think that's it for high-level updates on impact and member development. So I'll switch it off to the next person.
Thank you so much, Nkosi, and enjoy that beach time, brother. I'd like to ask Paul to join us now and talk through probably the largest undertaking, the largest new initiative that the organization has started in quite some time. Just to give you guys a little bit of context while Paul comes on screen, this was actually one of the first conversations that was thrown my way when I joined the organization back in February of last year. So for you guys, this is a program that's bubbled up from the members of something that they said that they wanted, and organizationally we heard them, and now we are bringing it to fruition. So Paul, if you don't mind just giving us an overview of IABA's new leadership development program and what really excites you about where we're going.
Awesome. Happy to. May I share my screen, Jeff?
Hey, I'll relinquish control. Let me stop sharing and let you have it, brother.
Okay. Request. I just sent you a request.
Good.
Okay, let me try that again. All right. I am going to share screen one. Okay. All right. So thanks for the opportunity, Jeff, and for the lead in there, Nkosi. Hope you're enjoying the fantastic weather in Bermuda. I'm in Connecticut. It's been raining continuously over the last few days. So I'll take the warm weather that you have. So with the leadership development program, a couple of things. You have a slide that highlights a curriculum recap and then discusses the timeline of where we're going to go with the program. I know we've been talking about it for several months. We talked about it briefly at the last annual meeting. We're now finally launching the program and are taking in applications. But before we get into the timeline, just a quick recap on what the objectives of the program are. So our goal really is to equip our mid-level membership with the skill set that will allow them in a tangible way to move up within the organization. So you learn skills around navigating corporate culture and corporate dynamics, understanding foundational information on different business units and how they integrate into establishing a thriving, profitable insurance operation, understand how to manage and motivate the biggest resource that an insurance company has to generate profitability, which is that intellectual human capital. So this program, again, our goal is to equip those individuals. As Jeff mentioned, it's something that bubbled from the grassroots. When you meet up at IABA conferences or with seasoned actuaries, a constant complaint is, hey, I've got my exams down. I get fantastic reviews, annual reviews on my in my regular day job. I believe I am contributing in a solid, effective way, but for some reason I seem not to be able to move up ahead, similar to colleagues or to people that I train. I am frustrated. How do I get myself out of this quagmire? This program is geared towards exactly that. So that's the goal. The curriculum, there are three objectives. Again, just a quick recap, three objectives that will be targeted by this program. There's understanding the business functions. That'll be done through workshops, mentoring, informational interviews with business leaders from the companies in which the applicants or the individuals who participate in this program work for. There'll be executive masterclasses. Understanding organizational culture and dynamics. That's the other element. And again, that'll be done through interviews, there's masterclasses, mentoring. We will assign mentors to our candidates for the duration of the program. These are mentors that are sponsors, power brokers within the companies that they work for, who will lead them and guide them through the program. And then there is the leadership competencies, understanding that human element to be an effective, results-driven a leader. So all these are the elements that will encompass what the program will be. The timeline, applications opened. This year. Is our pilot year, so the pilot program. The audience in terms of applications is restricted to individuals that are within the Corporate Advisory Council universe, or Corporate Advisory Council companies. So applications were open, notifications were sent to those companies in April. June 6th is the application submission deadline. Selected candidates will be notified in July. Kickoff will be in November in person, and then the program will run from December through July of 2026, with graduation being at the August 2026 annual meeting. So just to close, again, with the leadership development program, there are many leadership development programs out there. Just Google them. I don't know if I can mention names, but there are many, many leadership development programs out in the universe. What makes this program unique is it is not an academic exercise. A lot of thought and effort has been put in, and outside expertise brought in to ensure that the barometer for the successful program is the number of individuals that have an elevation or a movement in their career positioning within, say, an 18-month period. So we really want tangible results in terms of this situational positioning of individuals within their career over time. And with that, I'll hand it back over to you, Jeff. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Paul. Again, this is probably one of the most exciting things that we've undertaken as an organization in a long time. And so I appreciate the Impact Committee, the Leadership Development Program Committee specifically for their hard work and kind of bringing this to life. So next, I'm going to pause again. I'm going to turn it over to another board member, Mr. Brandon Wright, to talk about operational excellence.
Thanks a lot, Jeff. Can y'all hear me? Yes, we can. And Jeff, I think you are sharing the wrong screen.
All this work and I'm sharing the wrong screen. So give me 2 seconds. I'll get the right one showing up.
No problem. While you're doing that, Jeff, I'll just reiterate, Stephen mentioned at the beginning, the operational excellence pillar, and kind of it's the focus for this, strategic focus for this year is for IABA to update its technology, our data, and to grow our sponsorship revenue and streamline our internal processes, just to enable IABA to operate more efficiently now and in the longer term. And so to that end, there are activities going on. A couple of our committees roll up into this operational excellence pillar. Those are the marketing committee and the technology committee. Again, similar to the other pillars, these committees are doing a ton of really great work. The marketing committee, all of the communications that you see from IABA on social media, and email, LinkedIn, email, all of those things are produced by our marketing committee. So kudos to that team for all the work that they're doing. And then the technology committee also has done a great job of continuing to keep up with our current data infrastructure, as challenging as that is. I'm not going to steal Jeff's thunder. I think Jeff is going to talk a little bit about the website design a bit later, but just a couple of updates from the marketing committee and the technology committee that are shown here on the screen now. So just generally continuing growth in our reach from the marketing committee, from our current social media. You can see some of the numbers there through Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Lots of campaigns going on throughout the year. So I imagine most of you on this call see a lot of that stuff as it comes through. We will be expecting an annual meeting campaign ramp up starting, I guess, in a few weeks. You'll see that when the annual meeting registration is launched and continuing through July 2025. Obviously, again, the annual meeting being one of our kind of premier event, in-person event for the year. We'll be trying to position a lot of the advertisement around that upcoming meeting later in the summer. One kind of new and exciting thing that I'm looking forward to is we're expecting to launch a TikTok channel or page. I don't know exactly what you call it, by the year end. So look forward to that by the end of 2025. And on the technology front, certainly again, just so a couple of things. So there's a new annual meeting website, and that's kind of what's going to be open for the registration for the annual meeting. And then we are looking to a website revamp for IABA for our home website as well, that Jeff is going to talk about next. I think that's, and so the website refresh, I think, will enable a lot of the kind of operational excellence things that we've talked about that we want to achieve coming up, but I'll let Jeff talk about that in the next section.
Thank you so much, Brandon. And just to go right into it, I'll tell you a quick story. I think Stephen was the one that asked me in my first interview with what I think is one of my interviews to become the executive director for IABA. And it's one of the, the traditional questions. What's one thing you would change if we hired you? And my answer was I'd burn the website down and start over. And so it's taken me a year to kind of get the pieces rolling, but that's going to be the next larger undertaking that we go through as an organization. And so the reason why it's taken so long is because we really want to be thoughtful in two things. Obviously, the website is the easy part. That's just given us something that's sleek, that's something that we can be proud of, that's something that's easy for our members to navigate and find resources. But the other side of that coin is also the CRM that we use on the back end. One of the things that we've heard from you guys as members is we want you guys to create more member value. We want more resources. We want more information. We want more things that we can tangibly touch. And so what that means for us is we now have to look at what it would take for us to transition from our current CRM over to something new that would allow us to create resources that would allow you guys to, when you log in to pay your dues, and when you log in to say you're coming to an event or donate to the organization, you also now have access to all of these other resources that IABA is going to start putting out. Whether that's information, whether that's new coffee conversations or webinars or things like that, or simple simple resources for students that help you prep for exams, or that help build community around having your resume reviewed. So all of these things are all tied together. And so organizationally, we are in the very early stages of that process. We have reached out to 3 new vendors who are all right now submitting proposals to us to kind of walk us through what a new website, new CRM would look like for the organization. So our hope as an organization and as a leadership group is for at the end of this year or in Q1 of next year, you guys will see something bright and shiny and new from IABA. And hopefully that will deliver on my promise to burn it down and start over. But long term, again, we wanted to provide you guys with tools that you can be proud of as members of this organization, for you guys to, like I said, jump into the back end of our website and figure out what affiliates are near you, or, hey, I need more resources related to Exam Peer FM. Here are those resources for you. So that is what we're working on organizationally. And it's going to be a large undertaking for this organization, but definitely something that will be time well spent. So I'm going to pause here. We are now at the awaited Q&A time. And so if there's any questions that you guys have, we welcome you to share to come off mute, ask your question to any one of our leaders, and we'd be more than happy to begin to talk you through any questions that you have. So I'll pause, open it up for questions.
We have 62 people. So, well, I guess Jeff minus you and I, 61 right now. So please, it's an opportunity for you to learn more, dive into any of the updates that you've had, or even if it's something that was not what we've shared, but it's top of mind for you, please feel free to pose your question. And if you are shy, you can put it in the chat.
Can I go ask a question?
Yes, Cord, go ahead.
How is IABA responding to organizations that are maybe pulling back from their support of IABA and other DEI type organizations?
Well, that's a great question. Thank you for asking. To be fully transparent with you, man, we organizationally haven't seen much yet. I think 2025, we were blessed with a lot of good partners who continued their support. And I think one of the things that we are bracing for as we look at 2026 is what will happen if we see partners kind of move on from their support. And so one of the things financially, the organization is in really, really good health. And so I think we're able to weather that storm if and when we do see organizations start to pull back. But quite frankly, one of the things that one of the reasons why you hear a lot about why IABA wants to increase our member value is so that we can begin to diversify our streams of income, right? Whether that means us really looking at what a robust individual giving campaign would look like, or how do we talk about our programs that we do organizationally, so that we can start to write grants and seek donations from other funders. So our corporate support right now has remained strong. One of the things that has been really important to me as the leader of the org is for us to move away from the idea of us having transactional relationships with our sponsors and us to really build some positive relationships. And so what that has turned into is me honestly reaching out to sponsors on an ongoing basis just to have conversations around how they're doing, what they're seeing in their own workplaces, so that IABA can be a true partner. And so that understanding that it's not just a one-way street where our sponsors give us money and then they only hear from us when it's time for us to raise money. I want them to make sure that they're hearing from us on an ongoing basis, so that we can build strong relationships. One of the other things that we're working on that means a lot to me is to reach out to the other affinity groups, and for us to kind of tighten up our relationships. And so I saw we had a couple of folks on from our other affinity groups, but that's something that's really important for me as well, is to begin to connect more with them so that we can offer programs together, as opposed to IAB always having, or OLA offers this program and it's for them, or SAGA offers programming and it's for their members. How do we really think through what partnership looks like? So if there's a program that we're offering, or if there's a virtual experience that we're offering as an organization, then their members can participate and vice versa. So that's something that I would love to begin to connect with our other affinity group partners to really think through what partnership looks like.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Hey, Javon's question in the chat is speaking my language. Can members do targeted giving? Yes. Part of what the other reason why I really wanted to transform our website is to make giving easier. Right now, yes, it's directed towards the scholarship committee. Javon, yes. One of the things that we're working on now is our website does have the capacity for you to give and for you to target that giving, but it's not quick and easy. If you were to go and visit any other nonprofit's website, you will be able to give with Apple Pay or Google Pay, or do it with your phone in a matter of 2 or 3 clicks. One of the things that's driving our desire to change our website tech stack completely is specifically that desire to start to do more targeted giving and allow members who love and support this organization to give as well. So that is what we're thinking about, and that's really what's on my heart as it relates to giving. I've had I guess you can call it a privilege of raising money through 2 recessions and a pandemic. And one of the things that I'll tell you about the strongest organizations I've worked for all had strong giving campaigns that are not built on one source. And so right now, one of the things that I would like for IABA is for us to build out the other legs of the stool. And that's through individual giving, scholarship, foundational support, and grants and foundations. So Javon, thank you for the question. And I'm going to pause. I'm not going to do all the talking. If you have questions for Stephen, questions for Parker about anything that's going on from a program standpoint, feel free to come off mute or throw it in the chat. All right, perfect. Hey, guys, I love it when you make it easy. Stephen, any closing thoughts for us?
Yes, indeed. I will take the opportunity to once again say thank you. I think we had up to 64 or around 65 total count. Thank you for making the time to join us on a Thursday evening. Like I said, it is the support of all of you that makes it possible for us to drive on our strategic objectives and go on the journey that we are going. I wanna make a plug for two things. But before that, I think, like Jeff noted, you saw the respective leaders for the various committees under the various pillars. Please feel free to reach out to any of our leaders with any follow-up questions or any interest to engage. And even including if you want to join any of these committees to begin volunteering and giving back. The two plugs that I will want to make is one is for the leadership development program that Paul talked about. The applications, like we said, is open. If this is something that is of interest to you, we would love for you to initiate the conversations with your employer, particularly if you are a CSC, if you work for a CSC member company. Just start initiating some of those conversations. We want to make sure that we have a strong pipeline that comes through. And then finally, Jeff, I think as you talked about the tech stack, one of the things that we have initiated, and you should have seen a note from Jeff early this year, is that the change of the timeline for our dues, which we've sent to the end of the year, similar to a lot of major actuarial organizations. So that it's not on the member anniversary. It kind of makes it easy for us to be able to have that drive for it to be more convenient for everyone to be able to pay the dues. So these are two quick things that I wanted to highlight. But again, thank you for everything that you do. We look forward to seeing you in Washington, D.C. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to any of our leaders. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Before we go, I'd be remiss if I didn't. Nakaya and Koyan are both leading our social media team. If you have not followed us on social media, please do so across all platforms: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, Twitter, X, whatever you call it, and YouTube, at Black Actuaries across all platforms. Please follow us. There's so many good resources that they share on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. Whether you're looking for a job, we just started sharing job posts on our website. So if you're looking for new employment, visit our LinkedIn. There's a lot of great opportunities there for you. Or if you're just looking to get plugged in on the work of IABA, all of that can be found across all of our social channels. So again, it's at Black Actuaries across Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, and YouTube. Again, thank you guys so much. Like Stephen said, we look forward to seeing you at the annual meeting. If you have any questions as a follow-up, please don't hesitate to email me at IABA@Black Actuaries, and we'll get you connected anywhere you need to go. Thank you guys so much and have a great evening. Goodbye.